Welcome, my friend. Before this story begins, let me ask you something simple, yet powerful. If you knew that one ordinary moment today could quietly decide the direction of your entire life, would you treat this second the same way? This story is not loud. It does not rush. But inside it lives a truth many people realize too late. Every second counts, and one man's life is about to show you why. Daniel Harper was not a lazy man. He woke up early, he went to work, he paid his bills. From the outside, his life looked normal, stable, and even respectable. But deep inside, something was slowly slipping away from him, second by second, unnoticed. Daniel lived in a small American town where mornings smelled like coffee and rain, and evenings felt calm but empty. He was 35 years old, and he often told himself, "I have time." He said it when he delayed dreams. He said it when he postponed change. He said it when fear whispered excuses into his ear. Time, he believed, was patient. Every morning, Daniel stood at the same bus stop at exactly 7:10 a.m. The bus arrived at 7:17. Those 7 minutes were always wasted. He scrolled on his phone. He stared at the road. He thought about nothing. He never noticed how those seconds quietly added up. One morning, an old man stood beside him. The man wore a worn brown coat and carried a small notebook. He looked calm, almost timeless. When the bus arrived, the old man smiled and said softly, "You never get these minutes back." Daniel laughed politely, not understanding, and stepped onto the bus. The words faded, but not completely. Daniel worked in an insurance office. His desk was clean. His work was efficient. His mind, however, wandered constantly. He dreamed of writing. He dreamed of creating something meaningful. But whenever the idea appeared, fear followed closely behind. Later, he told himself, when life is more stable, when I'm more confident, when the timing is right. Every time he said later, a second slipped away, quietly, without protest. At lunch, Daniel often ate alone. He watched people pass by through the glass window of the cafe. Some looked rushed, some looked tired, some looked alive. He wondered what separated them. Was it talent, luck, or something simpler? One day, while stirring his coffee, he remembered something his father once said. "Life is not short, Daniel. We just waste most of it." At the time, those words meant nothing. Now they echoed. Weeks passed. Seasons changed. Daniel's routine stayed the same. Until one evening, everything shifted in the smallest possible way. After work, he missed his bus by just a few seconds. The doors closed right in front of him. Annoyed, he sighed and decided to walk home. That walk changed his life. As he walked, he noticed things he never had before. The sound of footsteps, the smell of fresh bread from a nearby bakery, the laughter of children playing in the distance. Time felt slower, fuller. Then he saw it. A small bookstore he had passed hundreds of times without noticing. The light inside was warm, inviting. Something pulled him in. Inside, shelves were crowded with old and new books. The air smelled like paper and dust. Behind the counter stood a woman with kind eyes and silver hair. She smiled gently. "You look like someone who's been waiting," she said. Daniel didn't know why, but those words struck him deeply. He browsed silently until one book caught his attention. The title read, "Every Second Counts." His heart paused. He bought the book and read it that night. Not quickly. Slowly. Carefully. Each page spoke about moments people ignored. Moments that shaped their destiny without them realizing it. One line stopped him completely. "The life you want is built in the seconds you think don't matter." Daniel closed the book and stared at the ceiling. His chest felt heavy. Not with sadness, but with truth. From that day, Daniel began to notice time differently. He noticed how often he reached for his phone to escape silence. He noticed how many ideas he killed before they were born. He noticed how fear disguised itself as comfort. And slowly, painfully, he realized something. He was not afraid of failing. He was afraid of trying. And losing time he could no longer pretend was endless. He started small, very small. Each morning at the bus stop, instead of scrolling, he wrote one sentence in a notebook. One sentence. That was it. Some days it felt useless. Some days it felt powerful. But every day, he showed up. Seconds became minutes. Minutes became pages. People around him didn't notice at first. His life looked the same. Same job, same routine. But inside, something was growing. Confidence, clarity, purpose. He understood that success was not one big decision. It was thousands of tiny ones made when no one was watching. One evening, Daniel received a phone call. His old college friend, Marcus, had passed away suddenly. Heart attack, 40 years old. Daniel sat on his bed holding the phone, frozen. The room felt silent, heavy. Marcus had always talked about starting a business, traveling, living fully. He always said, one day. Now, there were no more days. That night, Daniel cried, not just for Marcus, but for himself, for the seconds he wasted, for the chances he avoided, for the life he postponed. He opened his notebook and wrote through tears, not beautifully, not perfectly, honestly. That night, he made a quiet promise. No more waiting. Months later, Daniel submitted his writing to a small online magazine. He almost didn't. His finger hovered over the button for a long time. Fear screamed. Doubt whispered. But another voice, calm and steady, spoke louder. Every second counts. He clicked submit. The rejection came quickly. Then another. And another. Each one hurt. But something strange happened. He didn't stop. Rejection no longer felt like failure. It felt like movement, like proof that he was alive, trying, investing his seconds wisely. 1 year passed. Daniel's life looked different now. Not perfect, not easy, but real. His writing improved. His confidence grew. One morning, an email arrived. A simple message, acceptance. His story would be published. Daniel closed his eyes and breathed deeply, not from excitement, but from gratitude. Gratitude for every small second he had chosen courage over comfort. Daniel never quit his job immediately. He didn't chase shortcuts. He respected time now. He understood patience. He built his new life carefully, second by second, like laying bricks for a future he could finally see. Years later, Daniel stood at the same bus stop. Same time, same place. But he was not the same man. An old man stood beside him, wearing a worn brown coat, holding a small notebook. The man smiled and said softly, "You never get these minutes back." Daniel smiled back, warmly, knowingly. "I know," he replied. "That's why I'm here." The bus arrived. Daniel stepped on, holding his notebook close. He knew something now that most people never truly learn. Life does not change in big moments alone. It changes in silent seconds, in choices no one applauds, in actions that feel small but aren't. And if this story leaves you with one thought, let it be this: the next second is already waiting for you. Don't waste it. Because every second counts.